All right, Coach Brian back again. This time I'm going to talk briefly about man-to-man defense. What I just showed you in the last video, if you watched it, hopefully, is the zone defense, all right, where you'll be assigned a zone, okay, and it will tell you where you are, a setup kind of like this. Man-to-man, and we have to do man-to-man in the second quarter. Okay, now we might not do it the first game. That'll be up to the coaches whether we want to do it. But at some point, we're going to be doing man-to-man in the second quarter. So what will happen is, at the beginning of the second quarter, right, our 5 players, let's say the other team has the ball, okay? So whatever, let me just put these 5, the ones in the circles are the offense. So the X's are our players. So we'll come out, you'll know what 5 are on the court. You girls are going to come out on the court and you're going to match up. So let's say these are their numbers on their jersey, right? So this person will say, I got number 3, I got number 2, I got number 1, I got number 4, I got number 5. Okay, so now this is who you're covering. Okay, this is who you're covering. It's man-to-man. So now X3 is going to stay with number 2. Okay, now, like I said before, you don't necessarily need to chase them all around the place. What I was talking about before with shifting with the ball is still good. Now, if number 2 decides to go from here down to here, then yes, you have to go with them. Okay? You have to go with them. But let's say number 2 is just kind of staying up here. Okay? Right? Number 2 is staying up. You don't have to be right in their face. Again, let's say number 3 has the ball way down here. Well, number 2 is way up here. Are they really a danger? No. So you're still going to do the same thing you do on zone. Keep an eye on where the ball is. Keep an eye on number 2. Number 2 moves a little bit. You move with them. They move over here. You move with them. Okay? But you don't need to be right on top of them. The only time you have to start chasing them is if they really move. So now if they start running, let's say number 2 goes down and then over to here, well then you've got to stay with them. And the way you stay with them is to keep your knees bent. Keep them an arm's length away, and you got to go with them. So it is tougher because if you have a really fast player you're trying to cover, it can be tough if you're not quick. Okay, but that's basically the difference, right? In a zone defense, you're playing in a zone, right? You're playing in an assigned area that we tell you. Okay, you're playing in an assigned area. Okay, like I said, high post, low post, middle, center. But on a zone, you're matched up with a player by number. All right? And like I said, that's how it works. You come out at the beginning of the second quarter, say we're going to be man-to-man, and you go out there and you match up. Now, how do you match up? Well, that's where it gets tricky. We can either try to match up by size, height. You match up with somebody. I mean, obviously, if you're short, you're little, you don't want to match up with somebody that's way bigger than you. That's not going to work. Okay, so I wouldn't try to match up, Sophia against Jayona. Okay, because Jayona's much taller. It's going to be really hard. Now Sophia might be able to keep up with her, but it's not going to be as easy to cover her, especially underneath because she's so much taller. So it's easiest just to try to match up by size, and then as you get better and you get to know these players, you can switch it up. So if you have 2 short, let's say 2 little players on each team, but one of them's faster than the other, then we want to put our faster player against them. So let's say you have 2 offense, 2 defense. You're all about the same size, but one of them's faster than the other on the other team. Well, then we want to match our faster player with their faster player. So it's a little bit of you have to figure it out. But initially, you go out there, try to match up by size. You guys all just have to agree on it. You have to go out there and talk to each other. When you get out there, you say, I got number 2, I got number 20, I got number 42, whatever it is. Okay? And then that is your person. You are responsible for them. Okay? And again, you don't need to run around like crazy chasing them. If they're staying in their area, if they're just staying around here, that's fine. Just keep an eye on them. But when they start to move, then you've got to go with them. Okay? All right? 2 goes over here, then you got to go, right? Whatever. 1 tries to slip up here, you're covering 1, you got to go with them. But always know where the ball is. Okay? So that's the difference with man-to-man versus zone. All right? It's not as easy because you're going to definitely be running around more, and there's a lot more chance that you'll miss coverage, that somebody will end up open, and that's the downside to it. But it also does teach you better defense too if you can do it. So, because you don't give them an opportunity to find a hole in your zone because you just keep running with them. All right, so man-to-man versus zone. Hopefully everybody understood that. We'll try to simulate that a little bit during our scrimmage next week. All right? Okay, that's it for this one. Thanks.